Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Tuesday, January 14th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Former Teachers Union President Otto Sam says the recent ruling in his favor against the government is not his victory, but one for the citizens of this country. Last Thursday, Justice Gertel Tom ruled that the decision by then Chief Personnel Officer Tyrone Burke to transfer Sam, who was serving as head teacher at the South Rivers Methodist School, to the National Emergency Management Organization NEMO in a letter dated August 17, 2010, was illegal and irrational. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Sam says, while he is happy with the court ruling, he favored it as a victory for Vincentians, whom he claimed have experienced or are experiencing victimization.
For public servants and citizens who have been wronged in the past, wronged in the present, and probably be wronged in the future. So it is something that over the years been done, and people have, one way or the other, may not have had the courage or strength to deal with it. And there again, I want to thank God for allowing Otto, Jomo, and Miss Barnwell to be used, you know, to bring some semblance of justice to this case.
Sam said moving forward, he is leaving matters in the hands of God and hoping that things will work out for the best.
It has been a few years of persecution and affliction, but I mean, God is greater than all our difficulties, all our struggles, all our troubles. So I know that, you know, He will overcome, and He's always victorious. So, but in terms of the application for damages that you would have spoken to, the law is in the process of putting something together, and that will be pursued in due course also.
Meantime, the former teacher, who has been in the public service for over 30 years, is urging persons who may find themselves in similar positions to hold strong.
To be strong, to trust God and the law, and have the courage to address it, because it is wrong, and we have gotten into a culture, we have become a people who today call wrong right, and one has to stand up and call wrong, even if it means being persecuted, even if it means losing your job. The Hebrew boys stood up, you know, and they caused nations to change, you know, they caused a wicked king to come to know God. So one has to stand up, and you don't have to picket if you don't want to picket. You don't have to go on a strike if you don't want to go on a strike. But I mean, you still can stand, you could take a stand and pursue, and God is going to see that you are victorious.
Almost a week after being recalled as this country's Deputy Consul General in New York, Edson Augustus is yet to return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Augustus was relieved of his duties in New York owing to activities outside the scope of his employment and inimical or unfavorable to the interest of the consulate and the government and people of SVG, according to a release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is not clear whether it was mandatory for Augustus to return to SVG. The former Seventh-day Adventist pastor was appointed as a diplomat in May 2011, 3 months after he resigned from his clerical position. To date, no further statement has come from the government on the matter. However, speaking on a radio program yesterday, opposition Member of Parliament for Central Kingston, St. Clair Leacock, questioned whether due diligence was conducted before Augustus was given his appointment abroad. And the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has appointed Stanley Kendrick John, barrister at law, to be Her Majesty's counsel for the states and colonies served by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. According to a media release from Government House, John's appointment to the rank and dignity of Queen's Counsel is very much deserving after many years of distinguished service at the bar. The letters patterned on his appointment were issued by His Excellency the Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sir Frederick Ballantyne. Senior Education Officer Aldia Dyer is encouraging students here to write more. Addressing the awards ceremony of the primary school grade 6 writing competition ceremony, Dyer says students should get into the habit of writing, not only for competition or school, but also for pleasure.
Enjoy it. In today's society, more than ever, literacy is becoming more and more important. With the development of new technologies, everybody is writing every day. You see people with their phones, the ordinary man on the street. It is just that we do not have a pen and a piece of paper, but we are texting every single day, hours of the day. We are reading on the internet. Companies are asking us to read more and more. Nobody's coming to our homes to set up the new technologies. There's a changeover. We read what is taking place either in the newspaper, what we have to do, or we go online and read it, and we have to set up our own new systems in our homes. So I want to ask you to continue to work hard, to continue to write, and to continue to publish. That's the next step that we're aiming for.
New British High Commissioner for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Victoria Dean, is encouraging citizens of these islands to eat more locally produced foods. At a media briefing here earlier this week, Dean says she and her family are already getting familiar with the various foods produced in the region and are loving the tastes.
I think the way that I and my family can support that is by living by that as much as possible ourselves in Barbados, which means that I'm getting very familiar with breadfruit already, and learning all about ground provisions and trying to eat much more fish. It means that my husband, who is a big foodie and a big cook, is wanting to learn all about black-bellied sheep and things like that in Barbados. So I think what I want to do is understand a bit more what each of those specialities is in each of the islands, to make sure that when I visit we eat locally and celebrate good local food, and talk to people, including in schools and with young people, about why being proud of the food that you can produce and consume in your own land is in the end better for you and more interesting and more productive than perhaps some of the fast food options that are on offer.
An estimated $500,000 worth of medical supplies and equipment are being collected through the Janice Litter Foundation for SVG. The foundation was set up by Vincentian international recording artist Kevin Litter in honor of his late mother. According to the organization's Facebook page, the supplies will go to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital in the restoration process following the December 2013 trough system. Supplies to be shipped here include sterile gloves, syringes, back braces, scratches, IVs, blood glucose tests, among others. The site added that through the foundation, a tax-exempt relief fund, Eastern Caribbean Flood Relief Fund, has been established in the United States to facilitate receipt of financial contributions to support relief efforts through the Red Cross societies of the impacted islands of St. Lucia, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The president of the opposition New Democratic Party, Annie Eustace, and MP for the North Leeward constituency, Patel Matthews, yesterday presented a financial contribution to Basil Nanton and other surviving members of the Nanton family in Rosebank. The Nantons lost 5 of their family members during the December 24th disaster, in which a landslide demolished their home. The NDP is said to have committed itself to continued giving support to the Nanton family and others who were affected by the disaster.